Hey guys, what's going on and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're going to be rebuilding West Ham with a fantastic 4-3-3. Now if you guys do want to see how this obviously went down, please do stick around and watch the entire video because trust me, we brought in some big names and we found a lot of success with West Ham. If you guys do enjoy these sort of tactics / rebuild videos, be sure to smash the like button. Let's try and hit 30 likes. But let's get into this video and rebuild West Ham. So, when you start off with West Ham United, obviously they are a big club, at the moment doing quite well to be fair to them, but I just feel like we can take them over that edge and really push them on and possibly even try and become Premier League champions. Now, when you start with them, you don't get lots of money, to be honest. I will be showing you that, obviously. Overall, though, the media prediction is more than doable. 8th place, I think we should be doing that, to be honest with you. Got some key players, obviously the likes of Declan Rice. Got good players in general, to be honest with you, as we are going to have a little look at. But in my opinion, this club is really, really good in real life, and I feel like they are going to get somewhere. Obviously, Declan Rice is a key part of that project. But as I do mention, 3.9 million for the first transfer window, and to be honest, I don't really feel like I'm going to bring in anyone or sell anyone in the first window. I'm going to see how we do really with the current team we've got, and wait until the next season to see if we get given any more money to sort of bolster the team. But this is how the team obviously shapes up, how it looks. We are going to be a big shout out, by the way, to Murph FM for this 4-3-3 demolition tactic. As always, the link to not only the FM Scout page where you can download this, but also to his video. So if you do go over, make sure you comment, you come over from me, show him some love, because I had to use this tactic. I'm a big fan of the 4-3-3s, and this looked absolutely incredible. It's amazing how many variations of 4-3-3 actually can play so different, and this one was a real treat. Now, starting off in goal, then we've got Areola, Fabianski, Randolph. Realistically, Fabianski, Randolph aren't going to be sticking around with us too long due to age, etc, etc. And left back, we've got Emerson, Creswell, Cornet, or Cornet, not Cornet. In my opinion, quite good depth in that position, to be fair. Going over to the centre-backs, obviously Declan Rice will not be playing centre-back. So we've got Kurt Zouma or Bonner. So that is a position which we really do need to bolster, add some positions to. We don't have the strongest backup in that area at all. Over to the right-back, we're going to have Soufal and Emerson. Again, we've got Emerson on the left-back position as well. Now, Cornet can play there as well. So it's sort of like we're okay for that position, but definitely do need to improve it in the near future. Midfield, obviously, you've got the likes of Declan Rice, Souček, Kera, Fornals. You've got Paqueta, obviously one of the star players. On the left-hand side, you've got Fornals, Bowen, Ben Rama. Again, very similar on the right-hand side. And up top, you've got Scamacca and Antonio. Antonio. My main aim is to try and get Scamacca playing at his full potential, because I really am a big fan of this guy, and I think we can get him playing. Now, this is going to be how the team does line up for the first season. Again, I did shout out the tactic maker. It's a fantastic tactic, it really is, and it shapes up really well with the players we've got at the moment. So, filtered by best 11, it's going to be Areola, Soufal, Zouma, Ogbonna, Creswell, Rice, Souček, Paqueta, Fornals, Bowen, and Antonio. So a very solid team, and I'm hoping that is good enough to get around 8th, 7th place, or possibly get some form of European football inside of the top 6. But let's get into the first season and see how we do. So, to be fair, we done what I wanted. We got 8th place. That was the prediction pretty much. And in my opinion, I do feel like we could have pushed up a little bit higher. The big concern I've got at the moment in the first season is where my concerns were in the defending areas. And that is because we don't have quality there, really. Not good enough quality. And we don't have depth. Also, not the most goals being scored either. So possibly might make a couple of tweaks. Might look to bring in some new players, or definitely will look to bring in some new players. But overall, it's not a great season even in the Cups. But I'm happy we got the media prediction, because this was a settling in season. This is the season I play. Just, you know, we ain't got a lot of money. I didn't want to sell anyone. It's just a good sort of point to get to see who performs, who doesn't. And unfortunately for us, there's not a lot of positives to take from that. As you can see here, Scamacca leading the goals quite comfortably with 22. Bowen with 10, then there's a severe drop-off, so we definitely need to sort of to improve that areas. And also in defence, it's more the fact we have got some aging defenders. You look at Ogbonna, he's 35. You do really need to look to bring in some fresh players, and that is exactly what we're going to be doing with £68 million. Now, this is a big figure, and I think a fair figure. To be fair, maybe a little bit more than fair, actually. Quite a lot of money to be given considering finished 8th. So in my opinion, there is a lot of stress on this now, because we do have to make sure we spend it wisely, and after we spend it wisely, get results. And I decided to spend big. And when I say big, I mean sensibly big. Because at the end of the day, the biggest weakness, in my opinion, of this team is going to be the centre-backs. And that is not because the ones we've got aren't really... They are old, and obviously they're quite average, to be honest. But what I wanted to do is not sell them. I wanted to sort of just buy better ones than have them as backup, because it would also relieve them being forced to play for fullback, for rotation, etc, etc. And to be honest, we're still in quite a tough market in the sense of not every player wants to come and play for West Ham. Bearing in mind we only finished 8th. So the first player I brought in is going to be Guardio for 27 million, may I add, an absolute steal. And then Salisu from Southampton for 12 million. Now, I'm not going to talk too much on Guardio. We know how good this guy is in real life and in the game. And for that price tag, it's an absolute steal. And you can't really go wrong. So he will get into the starting 11 just like that. He can also play left back, which he might actually be doing when I filter by best 11. So hopefully not, but I'm pretty confident the game will put him at left back when I filter by best 11 for the little final, tactic screenshot. Salisu again, very, very, very good centre back. Him and Guardio coming into this back line is going to cement the back line up. Literally, it's made that back line 10 times more comfortable for me, and I'm very happy with this signing. Pretty quick on the ball, fantastic tackling, and again, 24 years of age. Guardio's 21. You've got a centre-back there. The entirety of this rebuild, we're going to have 2 fantastic centre-backs. But this is going to be how the team does line up. So it does actually put Guardio at left-back, Salisu, Zuma, Sufal, Areola, Rice, Paqueta, Souček, Bowen, Fornals, and Scamacca. Now, the only thing I can hope here is obviously that we can push on, try and get a little bit of an improvement. We are going to be seeing a couple of retiring players as well. Obviously, we're going to be seeing the likes of Antonio possibly leaving. I think he already did in this season, actually, towards the end of it. So we are going to be naturally losing some players as well. So the depth isn't going to be there all the time, but I must admit I have spent a little bit of money as well behind the scenes on making sure I've got the best staff available in terms of recovery, medical team, etc, etc. So hopefully we can push on into this second season and see some improvements. And that is what we did. We definitely have seen improvements. Goals conceded, 19 goals. 19 goals conceded, absolutely sensational. Completely cemented that back line up. We finished 2nd in the Premier League and got all the way to the Carabao Cup final and unfortunately lost to Manchester United. We also scored 84 goals, so naturally that attack has just got better, probably because the players are developing, they're sort of building a connection, and that's exactly what we want to be seeing, which we're going to see here actually with the stats. So Scamacca, 30 goals, Jarrod Bowen with 26 goals, 13 for Souček. So these 2 players really turning it on again. And then there is a little bit of a drop off again, but naturally the goals are higher, which is exactly what we want to be seeing. Obviously, you can have a look for yourselves at some of the assisters. And to be fair, the team is now developing well. Obviously, the backline cemented. We've got a fantastic backline now, in my opinion. Obviously, as the years go on, we are going to be bringing in new fullbacks just to strengthen that back up as far as we can. But what I will want to say now is we have also got, again, £68 million to spend going into what is going to be the 3rd transfer window. And I hope, technically the 3rd, we didn't obviously make any signings in the 1st. But in the 3rd transfer window, we're going to sort of just see what's on the market, because there's several positions which we could strengthen if the right player comes up. So let's go into the 3rd transfer window, do a little bit of work, and I'll come back to you with the signings. So these are going to be the signings. Now, before I do break them down, please do leave a like on this video and do subscribe to the channel. You guys are absolutely killing it right now. And I do love to also respond to all of your comments, so be sure to comment below as well. But this is going to be the transfer window. So we're going to start off with, we brought in Lafont from Nantes purely because 11 million is an absolute steal for a player like this. And we are going to need another goalkeeper at some point with Fabianski, Randolph retiring. We then go over to Shakhtar and we spend big. Oh, we spend big indeed. We actually, a ridiculous amount of money. We get him in, and that is going to be Mudryk from Shakhtar for 86 million after obviously the add-ons, etc, etc. We then go to Leipzig and we sign Mareba for 48 million pounds. Obviously some of these are done with sort of, add-ons, etc, not all up front. And then we actually go to Southampton with a player which I've never really signed before, but I do rate him quite highly, and we give them Cornet and 13 million for James Ward-Prowse. And these are how the players sort of look. Obviously, I'm going to go over their attributes. So this is one of the key players that I really did want to bring in, especially when I saw the price tag. He's only 25 years of age, decent attributes on him as well. And I thought, do you know what? It's going to be him and Areola can sort of battle it out for the first team. And as two fantastic goalkeepers, and I'm sure, you know, it's a big improvement on the backup we did have anyway. We then go over to this guy and, you know, I signed him in a previous rebuild and he was absolutely lights out. You know what you're getting from him. He's rapid on the ball, fantastic finishing, great determination, good flair, good technique. Already a lead and Premier League player. Yes, he's not likely to improve, but he doesn't need to. He's absolutely sensational. At the age of 23, this guy is going to be a winger in this team for years and years. We then go over to a midfield player, which is going to be Moreba. Now, I could only sign this guy with a release clause, which was a little bit annoying, obviously with the contracts, but I'm a big fan of him. I'm a big fan of Leipzig, and I wanted to get him in this team just because I think he would work really well. So that's really the only reason I've got for this player. I purposely went out and signed him. I didn't even get scouted in. I purposely went out and got this player in because I know he can perform in this West Ham shirt. We then go over to the last player, a bit of an unorthodox player, a player which I didn't expect to sign, to be honest. That is going to be James Ward-Prowse, 29 years of age. Yes, I know he's on the older side, but 20 corners, 23 kicks, 20 stamina, 20 natural fitness, work rate, everything. This guy is going to be the set-piece machine in this team. And not just that, he provides so much more on the ball, and I genuinely think he's a fantastic signing. And this is going to be how the team shapes up. So we're going to see a few of these players get into the team. Obviously, we're going to see Lafont coming in the goalkeeper position, obviously. Soufal, Zuma, Salisu, Gvardiol, Ward-Prowse, Souček, Rice, Mudryk, Bowen, and Scamacca. So that team fills me with 10 times more confidence. Really happy with how this team looks on paper. And I'm confident that Mudryk is also going to improve Bowen and Scamacca in sense of helping them going forward, creating chances. And now we have Ward-Prowse as well, pinging balls over to Scamacca, Mudryk, and Bowen. So let's get in to the third season and hopefully we can see some significant improvement on top of what we've previously done. And we did that all right. We were officially Premier League champions with Scamacca scoring 66 goals. We are going to be looking at his attributes very shortly after this because this guy has developed into a sensational player. We also won the Champions League against PSG in what was a 1-0 win, which was going to be Jared Bowen goal in the 74th minute. We also come runners-up in the English FA Cup. Scamacca dominating this, by the way, all the way round. And unfortunately, not a great display in the Carabao Cup, where we got knocked out by Leeds United in the third round. But the main ones here, I mean, come on, guys. This deserves a like. Premier League, Champions League. I mean, the two biggest trophies you can win in world football at club level. Absolutely sensational. But this guy is what we want to be looking at. Absolute incredible player. I knew he could develop like this. And that's exactly what he's done. A sensational player. If managed right, if developed right, you know, you've got the right players around him, he can do this. He really can. A fantastic player. And that's why I've not gone out and signed a really, you know, expensive striker. Because I knew this guy can do it. And that's exactly what he's doing. Great finishing, not the quickest, but he doesn't really need to be. Good strength, good natural fitness, good jump and reach, good off the ball, good long shots, good heading. He really is a fantastic striker. So if you need a striker, guys, give this guy a shot. But things do get flipped on the head now because unfortunately, Jared Bowen did have a clause in his contract, which I had to give him, and Barcelona have paid it. He joins Barcelona for 74 million. Now, two mindsets about this. 74 million for a, don't say average, but slightly above average winger who's 28. I can't really complain. It's annoying in the sense of he actually has been quite good for us, yes, but 74 million, I'm going to take, I had no option anyway. He wanted to go. Typically, if you don't let these players go when they ask, it goes downhill from there. So we had to let him go and he joins Barcelona. And that gives us 81 million, or that doesn't give us, that was sort of the budget we sort of got given actually from him, I believe. Because this is where it gets a bit confusing. Because also, Moreba, Also, Mareba goes and he joins, I believe that is going to be Newcastle. And he had a release clause as well, as I mentioned previously, for 58 million. So we've now lost Bowen, we've lost Mareba, and this is what the transfer, this is going to be the transfer budget we get given. And that is going to be 147 million. Now, obviously, you've got to take into account, we had the money at the start, 100% of the transfer revenue is given to us as well. So we have got a sensational amount of money to spend, but this is where it gets tough, because this is where I've got to use every bit of experience I have in FM to just replace the signings flawlessly and strengthen other positions as well. So let's get into this fourth transfer window, and this is going to be a big one. So this is going to be the first page. Don't panic. It's not only one signing. That is going to be Endrick, obviously, or he's a player. Obviously, I know he's gone to Real Madrid now, but I had to sign in, obviously, a hot prospect, and he's not going to get much game time unless he develops crazy in the next couple of seasons and replaces Skamaka, who I don't think he will. But it's a good backup option, reasonably good attributes on him, and he's only going to cost you around £8 million. As you can see here, Sufal went on the free, Souček went on the free, Fornals went on the free. Awful business, but I tell a lie. Souček went mid-season, so I couldn't do anything with that. Sufal I offered a contract to, he didn't accept, and Fornals also went mid-season. So that's the only annoying thing about simulating, but I should have been more switched on with the contracts. But a lot of wages freed up anyway, and to be honest, they are players that do need to be moved on anyway, so I'm hoping that now we've got a bit of money, we can sort of strengthen it, which we have done already by bringing in Endrick. We then go over to, I'm going to quickly show, you know what, his stats aren't anything too special, so I'm not going to talk too much on him, other than the fact that he is 18, obviously, in this one. He's worth 64 million when we only paid 8 million. Good finishing, good pace, and he's just a player that can develop. We all know who he is. I'm not going to sit here and talk 10 minutes about him because we know exactly who this guy is. This is the second page, and as you can see, Bowen going through for 74 million. We go over, we sign Zanilio from Roma for 31 million to replace Bowen. We sign, I'm going to butcher this name, but Akelkamp from Dortmund for 14 million. Diakati from Lille for 15 million. Cordinio from Zenit for 40 million pounds. And Soppy from Atalanta for 11.5 million pounds. Now, we're going to kick things off with Zanilio. This is a fantastic replacement for Bowen, in my opinion, and I genuinely think this guy can get the job done. We then go over to Akelkamp, who's a player I've not signed before, but he looked absolutely incredible. Didn't cost a lot of money, valued a lot more than what we paid for him. Very good attributes, can play on the left-hand side, can play advanced midfield, also a little bit deeper, and at the age of 24, I thought is a perfect pickup. We then go over and sign Diakate just purely for a backup centre-back option. Didn't cost us too much. Is he world-class? No. Is he going to become world-class? No. Is he a good backup option? Yes. So exactly why we signed him. We'll get into the team with cup games when players are injured, etc., etc. We then go over and sign Claudinho, a player again who can play in several positions actually on the wings, can play deep in midfield, centre mid, and also attack him. And again, a very good player at his age, slightly older, but I just saw him scouted. I was like, do you know what? He's got fantastic attributes, very well rounded, can play in several positions. And since we've lost so many players, I'm now after players that can cover multiple positions because we need to cover them at the end of the day. We then go over to the last player, which is going to be Soppy, and this guy, again, is purely a player I got scouted, can play either side of the fullback. Again, he has got to grow a little bit. He's not really ready to get into the first team yet. Very rapid on the ball, though. Average tackling, I must say. But right back, left back, he can do it both, and that is exactly what we needed. And this is going to be the team going into the fourth season. And that is going to be Lafont, Diakate, Zuma, Salisu, Guardio, Rice, Ward-Prowse, Paqueta, Mudryk, Zanilio, and Skamaka. Now, this team on paper looks absolutely incredible. So, in my opinion, we should be at least winning the Premier League again. There's no reason why we shouldn't. In my opinion, it's actually better. So, let's get into the fourth season and see where we land up. We've landed on 2 feet. We're on complete ground. We have taken off big time. I mean, come on, this is ridiculous. We've won the Premier League more than comfortably. I don't know what's happened to Man City. We are going to have a look at that when I go into the save again. Why are they in 9th? We're going to have a look at that. And Manchester United in 15th. Yeah, we're going to have a little look at them teams for sure. But West Ham, 91 points. Liverpool with 75. We didn't only win the Premier League, we destroyed the Premier League. Unfortunately, not a great display in the Champions League. We, however, replaced that with a Super Cup win, a Carabao Cup win, a Community Shield win, and an FA Cup win. So we actually won 5 trophies that season. So a fantastic season. Skamaka still firing on all cylinders. And to be honest, I think we've rebuilt West Ham now. I really do. But what I'm going to do is, that is the challenge completed, because obviously I only want to win the Premier League. We won the Premier League twice, we won the Champions League, we won all of the English trophies. I am going to just have one more transfer window just for the fun of it, because we have got a little bit of money to spend. And when I say a little, we've got £105 million to spend, so we are going to just be bringing in some players just to leave West Ham fully rebuilt, trophy-wise and completely squad-wise. And we've done that by bringing in these players. So the first one is going to be Theo Hernandez. Obviously, this page here has got some of the previous signings on, but we can see here, I'll quickly show you, we brought in Theo Hernandez for £13.5 million, Pikey from Man City for £5 million, and Kalou from AC Milan for £30 million. So really ruining AC Milan's back line. Theo Hernandez, a world-class left-back, something this team has been missing. Obviously, Guardiola now can play in the centre-back position, and he's an absolutely incredible left-back. And for that price tag, I don't mind the fact that he's 28. I mean, he's absolutely sensational, and 100% push this defence to, I would now class it as a world-class back line. We then get Kaiki, obviously, apologies, another player who, similar to Endrick in the fact that he does need to develop a lot to get into this West Ham side, but he has got the chance to do it at this club. He can play cup games, he can obviously play games when the other wingers are injured, etc, etc, and he's already got decent attributes, not incredible, but quite good in my opinion, and hopefully we can just push him, carrying on this development, and hopefully we can come out with a fantastic player. The last player is going to be Kalou. Again, a player that can play centre-back and also right-back. So this is why I've now described this defence as world-class, because every position has got significant strength in it and a fantastic, fantastic back line. Let's hop over to the actual save now. We've got a couple of things we're going to do, but the main bit we're going to do is break down this tactic. So the first thing we want to do is we're just going to quickly have a look at the state of Manchester City and Manchester United. So they've got Brian Barry Murphy in charge of the club. Senior squad. I mean, their team, I mean, the back line's taken a little bit of a hit, I must say. Definitely taken a bit of a hit. Got Haaland, Foden, Grealish, De Bruyne, Stones in CDM. So I think they've just got a little bit of a, let's say he's definitely not a Pep Guardiola. And Manchester United have got Ruud van Nistelrooy in charge. And their squad is, oh wow, okay. I mean, it's not too bad, realistically. Fernandes up top, which I've seen an awful lot on this game, but I had to have a look. I've just seen Timber there as well, but I had to have a look at that because a couple of teams really underperforming. Newcastle, though, obviously have been quite consistent on this save. They've got Valverde in charge, and their team, oh, it's good. Sommer, Chabala, Sotalo, Demario, Raum, Camavinga, Fernandes, Shrewsbury Hall, Trincao, St. Maximin, and Isaac. A fantastic team. Mareba, obviously from us, and Didi, Tierney, Klosterman. Oh my good God, what a team. But anyway, let's break down this tactic right now. So again, massive shout out to Murph, a fantastic tactic creator. I really did enjoy this one, and trust me, it does get you great results. So let's just have a little look at how this tactic lines up. So it's your basic 4-3-3 to start with. Attacker mentality, fairly narrow, overlap left and right, play out of defence, standard with the directness and a higher tempo, with whipped crosses selected. In transition, counter press, counter, distribute to the centre backs and the full backs, Out of possession, a standard defensive line, a high press line of engagement, much more often on the trigger press, and nothing else. So not too many instructions set, to be honest there. Going over to the players, now I will say this tactic is very attacking, so make sure you have got quite good defenders, because obviously you've got your striker attacking, wingers attacking, centre mid, who I believe is actually going to be on attack as well, fullbacks on attack. There's a lot of players going forward, so that is why your striker gets so many goals at the end of the day. But we're going to start off with Lafont in goal, simply a sweeper keeper on support on take more risks. On the right back, we've got Kalou, and he is going to be told to attack, pass it shorter, take more risks, cross from the byline, dribble more, run wide with the ball, shoot less often, sit narrower, close down more, tackle harder, mark tighter, cross more often, and get further forwards. Now, that's a lot of instructions, so I might not read out every single one, but you can download this in the description from the FM Scout website, but do go over and show some love on his video too. On the left back, again, I'm not going to read all of it out because there's absolutely tons, and it is actually the same, I believe, as Kalou. So I'm not going to read it out twice. Centre backs, again, a ton of instructions, so I'm going to leave them on the screen. But what I liked about this, the two ball playing defenders really does work well in this system, because obviously, because everyone's so attacking, having the two ball playing defenders that are comfortable on the ball just helps you sort of link up that sort of defence to midfield and also pass to the fullbacks. It really does work very well. Going over to the right defender, is going to be exactly the same. So if you are copying this, only copy, you ain't got to watch both. You can simply just apply it to both. The midfielders, though, the DM on support, I will read these out. You want to pass shorter, take more risks, dribble more, shoot less often, close down more, tackle harder, and mark tighter. On the box-to-box, a very crucial role on support, take more risks, dribble more, shoot less often, get further forwards, move into channels, tackle harder, mark tighter, and roam from position. The centre mid on attack, take more risks, dribble more, move into channels, close down more, tackle harder, mark tighter, and get further forwards. Now, you could swap this, in my opinion, to obviously a Metzala, a Roman playmaker. I would honestly stick to what it is because it works so well. On the left-hand side, you've got an inside forward on attack, roam from position, tackle harder, dribble more, cut inside with ball, take more risks, cross less often, and get further forwards. On the right-hand side, you're going to have an inside forward, which won't let me click, which is very annoying, but we will go on this. We will go on instructions. Less often, mark tighter, get further forwards, roam from position, cut inside with the ball, standard, and that is it. Going over to the last position, which is going to be Skamaka, the advanced forward on attack. Take more risks, dribble more, shoot more often, tackle harder, and move into channels. But that is going to be West Ham rebuilt. It's been an absolutely sensational rebuild. Fantastic players brought in, loads of trophies won. At the moment, guys, I've got a community post up, which you can comment on right now. I've got 10 days off from work now. I'm going to be trying to do as many viewer requests as possible. So go over, either leave a comment on this video of a video you want to see, whether that be a tactic or a rebuild. Show some love by leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. But that is going to be it for me today, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.